Hi, welcome to another great podcast. And joining us today is Christian Charvet.
Yeah.
Got it.
Perfect pronunciation.
Love
There you
that.
go.
So, Christian, I got a lot of money back and I'm interested in buying a car. What do you recommend?
Well, first contact me. Right? If you are looking for a vehicle,
Gotta start
contact
off right,
me.
right?
I will definitely help guide you through the process. I know it's a car buying is always something that people do not look forward to.
No matter how you get here, get here. Come on in. The dealing's great. It's the Nissan Dealathon.
And it's unfortunate because you should really enjoy it, right?
You should.
Buying a vehicle is like, it should be
Exciting.
fun. Unfortunately,
Especially if it's your first car.
Yeah. Oh, forget it. Yeah, it's first car. It's one of those things that I feel, even as dealers, we make it
Right.
harder than it has to be.
Right.
So it's something that if we can help navigate the process, we're more than happy to do so.
And why do you think that's the case? Because I'm always, when I go into a car dealership, I'm like, I don't have no money. Don't try to upsell me. I don't have any money.
So that's one thing. I will tell you this. So as much as the dealerships can make it difficult, sometimes consumers do make it harder than it has to be also. But it's because of what they've experienced in the past, right?
Yeah.
So you're coming into the dealership with the mindset of, hey, I'm going to be upsold. I don't want to do that.
Right.
I would tell you this. The car business is a great industry, and there are great people in the automotive industry. But you have to trust your gut too, right? So if you feel maybe this person might not be looking out for my best interest,
Right.
maybe I need to speak to somebody else.
Right.
I don't mean
Tell though, you
this-
can feel it.
it's a vibe thing.
How do you know that? Because I'll be honest with you, I'm totally clueless when it
Yeah,
comes
have you ever
to
been in a
buying.
restaurant and you feel like the waiter or waitress doesn't have, you're not connecting with them?
So what don't you want?
Pardon?
What don't you want?
Oh, well, I think I'll just,
You know, I've been working here for 44 years. Ain't nobody ever ordered nothing but T-bone steak and a baked potato.
It's the same thing.
Follow that gut.
It's an instinct thing. Like, and don't feel bad saying, hey, you know what? Maybe this isn't the right fit. Can I speak to somebody else? It's nothing
Really?
personal. Why not?
Wow.
If you leave the dealership, and we just talked about this, if you leave the dealership, you went there to buy a car. They're there to sell you a car.
Right.
And you leave because of you weren't clicking with the person. Nobody wins.
Right.
You have to start the process all over again at another dealership. The dealership who wants to sell you a car had a potential customer who they lost.
Yes.
So I'll be honest with you. Me as a manager, I would love to hear that feedback. And it's nothing. Unfortunately, some people take it personally.
Right.
Sometimes it's just not the right fit. And if I think if you can say, hey, you know what? It's nothing personal. I just don't think that we're. Can I speak to somebody else?
Wow.
And then maybe they'll say, you know, I met that person may feel a little offended, and maybe you want to give them a little bit of feedback. Say, you know what, I just feel you're not understanding what I'm looking for. At that point, you're giving them the opportunity to make it right. Now, if they do or don't, that's on them. But at least you tried.
Yeah, I see what you mean. So in other words, if someone's like, you know, I think this is what happened with a recent family member of mine. He was pushing him to go to $1,000 more. And he was like, no, I can't really go that much further. I could do 500. But when they came to pick up the car, it wasn't 500 more, it was $633 more. And really, you know, this made them mad.
Yeah. No, I get that. And that's one of the things I think we definitely have to talk about is, like I said, sometimes we make it harder than it has to be.
Yeah.
But getting back to what as far as that goes, you have to have your understanding of your finances and where you want to be
Right.
and be able to stick to it. Now, if there is an explanation for it, sometimes there are things like plate fees and registration fees. That should be disclosed up front.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be something that you're finding out about at last minute. I've always done business where what we talk about now is exactly what you'll get when you come to pick up your car. Unless either you change something or there's a credit issue, whatever the case may be, right? That's something that's unforeseen to us. We don't know how that's going to play out. But as far as their fees and the monthly payment and your out of pocket, that should be kind of disclosed up front. And it really should have it in writing. So.
So pretend as though that your mom is looking for a car. She's going to a dealership. What should she know before she enters the dealership?
So I always say, obviously we have our company, one of our companies that we do training for the automotive industry. And I always say, sell a vehicle like you're selling it to a family member. right? The truth is if you take that approach to it, you'll be a lot more successful in the industry. Not just now, but long term.
Right.
Right? If you have that approach, like you're selling every vehicle like you are to a
Yes.
family member, that's how I would do it. And things to do your research. You know, you
What
have to
does
do your
that
research.
mean? I love it when people say do your research, but to be honest with you, I'm kind of clueless when it comes to a car, and so I don't even know what to think about with research. Like, do I do electric? Do I do something that's a combo?
Hybrid.
Exactly. I mean, what do I even? How do
want
I
a
even?
Maybach?
I was
a
actually
Benz.
looking for a car
Exactly.
for my son.
Should
and
it be-
someone mentioned, "Oh, do hybrid," and
Or
I'm like,
used?
Why?
Should I get a used car? Should I lease a
Certified,
car?
owner certified.
You
So there's
know?
a ton of questions, right?
Right.
Yeah. So
Christian's like, slow down.
no. So, but this is great because I think people need to know where to start, right? And
Right.
unfortunately, they go to a dealership
Yeah.
to kind of get the information and they don't really know what they want. So
Right.
that kind of makes the interaction a lot more difficult, right?
Right.
So what I mean by doing your research is go online,
Okay.
right? Whether if it's to even Google and car gurus, these websites that
Right.
you can go to now. CarMax, Carfax, things like that to kind of get an idea. And believe it or not, even AI.
Really?
Asking AI, like saying,
Go to ChatGPT.
go chat GPT and say, hey, these are my needs.
Right.
Oh.
What is a good fit for me? Now, don't take that as gospel either. You
Right.
you have to understand you're using it as a guide.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the deal, you kind of narrow down what you're looking for. Like, hey, do I want an SUV or do I want a sedan? Is a hybrid right for me? Is it more? Should I go gas powered? Like,
Right.
what am I? There's no right or wrong. It's all based on what your
What
needs
your
are.
like
Yeah, yeah,
buying
yeah.
a house, right?
Right.
Basically, yeah. So if somebody drives, long distances, right?
Right.
I know somebody who he was Ubering vehicles, and he purchased an electric vehicle, and he realized the downtime that he had filling up gas for a half hour, 40 minutes at an electric charging station
Right.
took away from the time that he could have been actually generated income. So there's a lot of factors that play into it.
So do your
What's a popular used car?
So what you want to look at is what holds value. So the Hondas, the Toyotas, those things are holding great values right now. If you want to go up into the higher end, the Porsches are holding incredible value. Porsche right now, their resale value, and historically their resale values are one of
Really?
the top resale values
I think
on the market.
Benz.
Holds a great value,
Really?
depending on the model also. But some of their models hold more value than others.
Okay.
But like I think right now the number one car was like I just heard some recent study was like the 911 Porsche holds an incredible amount of value.
But I always heard that once you drove it off the lot, it loses all the
depreciates.
money.
So
It
that's a great
depreciates.
term that we hear all the time. Once you
Yeah.
drive it off the lot, it's not when you
Yes.
drive it off the lot because every vehicle gets technically driven off of the lot,
Okay.
right? Even if it's just to go
Right.
get gas. It's when the vehicle's registered. Okay, so when you buy the vehicle gets registered and titled,
Right.
and now that vehicle technically is a used car.
Right.
Okay, so that's when it takes the initial depreciation.
And what does it mean by certified vehicle or some of these terms that I hear often? Like, oh, this is a certified vehicle. Like,
Certified vehicles are great.
Okay.
I recommend when people are looking to buy, one, make sure you're buying a certified pre-owned vehicle, right? If you're looking to buy a used car, there are tons of these, there's lots that sell vehicles that, local dealerships that may not be a dealership that works with the manufacturer. So let's say if you're going to buy a used Toyota,
Right.
get it from a Toyota dealership. Because that vehicle, all right, just think of it this way. If you have a problem with the vehicle, who can you go to? So if you buy it off of the gas station guy, who was selling this car at his gas station.
Right.
And now you have an issue and you're going to go back to him and he's going to be like, no, you got to take it to Toyota.
Right.
So I want to have
Go to the
a
dealer.
line of contact that I could say, hey, if I need to escalate this issue, who can I now go up the chain to?
Yeah.
Right? So that's the way I look at it. And when a vehicle is certified, that means the vehicle has gone through a rigorous inspection. Normally a multi-point inspection where they check everything
Right.
from, the oil change, the tire has to have a certain tread depth on it, the seatbelt is working properly, things of the nature, right? And then what they'll do is they'll put an additional warranty on the vehicle.
Oh.
So sometimes extend the manufacturer's warranty.
Okay.
You can actually upgrade that to, let's say, I'm going to keep this car an additional 4 or 5 years. You're going to upgrade it, obviously, for a fee.
Wow.
And with that, you may also be able to get a lower interest rate for a used car. Well, normally these used cars, if you're financing them, have a higher interest rate.
That's true.
And if the vehicle's certified, the manufacturer has some more ability to stand behind the vehicle because they know that vehicle has gone through this strict
That makes me think
process.
about the lemon law. Is that still like?
Lemon law is definitely a thing.
What is the lemon law?
So it's basically protection, consumer protection, to make sure that if the vehicle has defects or things of that nature, that the manufacturer has to stand behind that product.
Right.
They can't just leave you out there hanging, right? So there are definitely, if you have, there's criterias that have to be met, some of which, and it varies from state to state.
Right.
Let's say if the vehicle's in the shop for the same issue over a certain number of times, and they can't be repaired. Another thing that most people don't know, and I just experienced this, if the vehicle is at the dealership for, I believe it's over 30 days, 31 days, that qualifies for a lemon law. So they're not able to fix it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's a big factor. I actually just experienced it on one of my vehicles.
Oh, dear.
I had a vehicle that we had to go through lemon law, and it's a process, but I definitely saw where they get behind the consumer and make sure that I'm taken care of.
So when that happens, they're able to just get a new vehicle.
It all depends. Either sometimes it's monetary compensation that you may get, depending on how long you've had the vehicle, right? If it's an older vehicle, it may not qualify for lemon law. If it has over a certain amount of mileage, it may not qualify for lemon law. If there's outside influence, it may not count. If let's say the vehicle's in an accident, now you have this reoccurring problem. That's outside influence.
Yeah.
So I would definitely recommend you can contact. Just Google lemon law attorneys, and you can search it up. They will actually tell you if the vehicle qualifies or not. Because everybody immediately, when they have something wrong with the car, like this is a lemon. I'm like, all right,
Yes.
it's not necessarily
I
lemon.
grew up on that. They're like, you're not a lemon law,
Yeah,
right?
you got a
I'm
lemon.
like,
Yeah, your family will tell you
Yes.
you got a lemon. I'm like,
Right,
all right,
right,
it's not
right.
necessarily a lemon.
I wanted
So-
to. Okay.
No, I was going to say the Primo Auto Group. Where are you located?
So we're
And how long have you been there?
we're based out of Queens. Primo actually started kind of by accident, or out of necessity, I should say. So when I was in retail, my background, obviously, I ran dealerships. I managed incredible people at incredible dealerships. I could not have been successful if it wasn't for the people that I worked with and their passion to really go above and beyond for our customers. And that's something that I really and trying to stress to people, if that's your passion, if you really care about helping people, the automotive industry is a great industry. As much as we do get a bad reputation, if you do it right, it doesn't have to be that way. So
Can you just step back one step and just let us know, how did you even get into it?
how'd I end
To
up
manager, to-
Well, I started out in the car dealership. I actually worked for the bank side of the automotive industry. I worked for Chase Auto Finance in the customer service area. So basically, if you bought a car and you needed to make a payment or you had a question about your car, you called the bank.
Yeah.
I was the person who answered.
Oh, wow.
So I worked in customer service, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed handling difficult clients also, which kind of accelerated my career there.
Okay.
I love to turn around the situation, right? And I think if somebody's having a bad experience, don't always look at it as just a bad experience. Look at it as an opportunity to help the customer achieve their goals, and in turn, create a customer for life.
This is so true. I
So-
think that's the key with sales is if you look at it from a place of, I'm here to help you and I'm going to make this better than what it was.
Right.
You're right. You have a customer for life.
100%. And you have to be understanding that the customer is in a bad place, and
Yeah.
that's okay. My old manager, he used to say, he's just like, that guy just lets it roll off his back. Customers could be yelling at me, they could be cursing at me, and I would
Wow.
just. My thing was, hey, it's okay. Like, it doesn't affect me. Some people take that home. I have an incredible ability to disconnect from that and not take it home with me, and so my thing was, let them go through that, let them vent, let them get it out of their system.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
not
It's
even
not
though it's not
yours,
towards
it's-
me.
right.
It's just a frustration. And I
Right.
think when you listen to people
Yeah.
and then you can, connect with them and reiterate that back to them, say, all right, so this is what I hear you're saying. This is what I hear you're dealing with.
Right.
Then all of a sudden the temperature goes down
Right.
a little bit, right?
Empathize with
Yeah,
them,
and you
right?
connect, and then say, all right, this is what I'm going to do to try to solve your problem. Explain time frames if necessary.
Right.
It might not happen like that, but I'm going to work with you to make sure we get this problem resolved. And I took ownership of it. I never just said, oh, well, that's not my department. That's another department. If I had to go to that department
To
to
get the
get it
answer.
resolved, that's
You
what I would
figure
do.
it out.
Right.
Okay.
And those are things that really like kind of catapulted me in any industry that I was in.
Right.
Wow.
I moved up, became a manager. I think I became a manager strictly because I liked handling difficult clients. And at that time, it wasn't as easy as let me get a manager on the phone. It
Yeah.
was, all right, I have to write a request, and that manager would call you back later.
Oh, wow.
So imagine now there's like an hour, 2 hour window that you haven't heard from somebody.
Yeah.
Nowadays, everybody wants everything instantly.
That's true.
So it was a little bit different. And I enjoyed it. We did really well. I was recruited by a car dealership
Oh,
who I
wow.
helped him with an issue that he had. And I was a young parent, very early age. In my early 20s, I had my son. And basically he said, hey, if you take care of people the way you take care of me, you can make six figures
Oh,
in
my.
automotive. And I was making about $43,000 a year
That's
at that time.
amazing.
Right.
And that like kind of piqued an
The
interest.
light bulb went on.
Yeah, and I was just like, all right. So then car sales, I was
Hmm.
like, he's like, you should really give it a shot. It's not what you think. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember my mother had my business card on the refrigerator. I was at Chase. I was like to her, I was an executive at
Right,
Chase, and I learned so much at Chase. And
I'm sure.
I still talk about this so much as far as how to handle customers, and
Right.
even as something as simple as when you put somebody on hold to come back and
Yes.
say, hey, I didn't forget about you. I'm still
That's
working
right.
on it. I'm gonna keep you on hold for a
Those
couple more
little
minutes.
details.
And I when I do deal with people on the phone, you see it that it's not happening. And
Right.
So little things I think we need to go back to. But
So what makes those people who come in who are going to like, I'm getting a deal today? Well, how do you deal with those customers that are going to
That's
lowball
what
you
we're here
no
for.
matter what?
that's what we're here for. We're here to make deals. We're here in the automotive
Really?
space. Yeah, we're here
There's
to
that
make
much
deals.
ability to make a deal?
All right. So what the question is, what's a deal?
Yeah. I
So
want to
mo-
come
most
in
people
and
don't know what a deal is.
find something that's really affordable. It's a major car for what I would really want. I'm getting it for a deal, which I think is
Yeah, to his point,
So
what is the deal?
that's the question, right? So when you go to a restaurant, they offer you the special. I found that my wife likes to order the special, and I realized that when I saw the bill, I was like, wait a minute, the special is more expensive than everything on the menu. I'm
Right.
like, no, the only thing
got a
special
deal.
about it was the price, right?
Right.
So it's all perception, right? So I
Hmm.
think until you do that research and that discovery process of finding out what is actually a deal, nobody knows what it is. And we kind of teach this to salespeople also, in the sense that the customer doesn't know what a good deal is. So when a customer says, hey, I want a deal on this car, okay, define that. You can't really define it. So the only way to define that is actually to do the legwork and do the homework. And
But I find that going to the dealerships, I feel so anxious because I'm African by nature, right? And I'm always bargaining. And I feel as though even when I'm bargaining and they they agree to my terms, I'm like, man, maybe I should have squeezed a little bit more out of them.
See, that's just it. I again, this
as
goes
you
back to
can.
that homework, right? The research process, because you can out negotiate yourself out of a deal.
I think I've done that several times. Yes.
Yeah, in life and in anything, right? It's so having an idea as far as where it is you can go, and in negotiations, you can come out losing the negotiations, and maybe actually walk
Paying
away from
more.
not even that, but at some point the dealership say, you know what,
I can't help you.
I can't help you.
Yeah, because if you're not going to make some money on that, you can't
Correct.
even keep your door open.
The dealerships do have to maintain a profit.
Right.
Believe it or not, I know this is going to sound crazy, and I may get some backlash, right? So forgive me if you do.
Okay.
There are cars and there are times when a dealership is willing to lose a couple of dollars to make a deal.
Really?
Now, I know that sounds crazy. Now, when they say, people are going to go crazy about this, because why would the dealership lose
Right.
money, right? If there are vehicles that are on what's called their floor plan, meaning the vehicles that are in the inventory are sitting on the lot and they're being financed, so the dealership's paying interest on these vehicles to the bank. So sometimes they have to move certain inventory, and they may be willing to take a shorter deal or maybe go deeper on that car than they normally would on another vehicle. So sometimes you have to, kind of play the game and say, hey, do I feel I'm getting the right price for me and my family? Ultimately, that's what you have to decide. Are you comfortable with the monthly payment?
Yeah.
It's amazing to me when people leave the dealership and all of a sudden all their friends and family members are experts in automotive.
Always.
And they'll go, oh, you paid too much for that car.
Yeah.
Or you shouldn't have done this. You should have. And they're all experts.
Right.
A dealership, as a salesperson, you can sell thousands of cars per year, but
Yeah.
all of a sudden, Uncle Joe is an expert on car
Yes.
sales. He's going to tell you did it wrong. So you gotta kind of look at what you're comfortable with,
Right.
What are you comfortable with paying? I don't recommend disclosing that. At the beginning of the negotiations, hold on to that information.
Really?
Right.
Get the number from the dealership
Oh.
and see if it makes sense, and then you can kind of negotiate. And at some point, if they're at the bottom line and they're willing to let you leave, that may be something. That may be a telltale sign that you're at the bottom.
I see.
Yeah.